Yeah, they tell you that you should quit trying. You were too small, that you were too young. They tell you the chance is too slim, the world is too big, but you say, how come? I'm ready to light a new fire, raise a new flag across a new sea. And if I'm ever the one in your way, then put your head down and run right through me. I keep settling for so much less. Don't take what's given, just demand what's next. We're looking for an open door, so we didn't see before. So we can get out of here. Plot twist that we didn't see coming. We're looking for an open door, so we didn't see before. And when we get out of here, we'll never stop running. It's something like a shadow in the valley, colossal. Open up your eyes, young one, and be watchful. Behind closed doors, trying to write a new gospel. They are not God, they're not even apostles. I come with the dumb drum banging you breathless. Enemies freeze, left bent and defenseless. Straight for the chest of anybody against us. The more they resist it, the more that they tempt us. I keep settling for so much less. Don't take what's given, just demand what's next. We're looking for an open door, so we didn't see before. So we can get out of here. Plot twist that we didn't see coming. We're looking for an open door, so we didn't see before.
All right. Unplanned stream we have here, but the Bulls took care of business against the Brooklyn Nets, as they should have. They beat the Brooklyn Nets 108-99, as Zach LaVine, man, took over in that fourth quarter, scoring 20 points, outscoring the Brooklyn Nets 20-19. What a fantastic fourth quarter takeover by Zach, as the Bulls definitely needed it in this victory. As the Bulls are kind of struggling in this game, not gonna lie, it did not look good for a while, but they did a good job of staying with this game, and Zach LaVine took care of business in the end. What's going on, y'all? Glad to see we have some people on an unplanned stream. It's kind of like a scuffed little whole thing, but I have to stream this after Zach LaVine took over, so I thought it was important to do that. Oh, let me turn my noise cancellation on there. What's going on, y'all? Give me your thoughts, man. I want to see the chat and their reaction on this amazing game by Zach. Even though this was like definitely a rough game, but it was definitely worth it in the end by the Bulls. Because yeah, first half was not amazing. I'll definitely say that. But let me know your chat. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the chat. I want to see people talk in the chat. Last stream wasn't as fun without you guys, so let's see some interaction in this one. But basically, I was looking at this game. I'm like, all right, the Bulls, they had a really rough go against the 76ers, where it seemed like they should have won that one, but they didn't. It just was like, all right, the Bulls need to win this game because I'm like, Zach's probably playing in this one, and then they have to go into Charlotte tomorrow, and hopefully they win that one. Second game of back-to-back here, but oh boy, this one wasn't looking good for the first 2.5 quarters. The Chicago Bulls on their first half defense was just absolutely horrible. And it again, the 3-point shot was destroying the Bulls, as I think the Brooklyn Nets shot over 50% from the field. What's up, Kevin? How you doing? And I was like, oh man, here we go again. This Bulls defense in the first quarter has just been rough, and I keep preaching, like, it's not just about like the Bulls aren't finding the shooters. It's more about that the perimeter defense, they're allowing guys to drive right into the middle of the lane, which collapses the defense, and then they're kicking it back out to shooters, and that's exactly what happened to start. I like the energy, but execution was off. Definitely execution was off on the defensive end. I have a lot of clips that I've written down. I don't have it pulled up yet, but I've written down so many clips of how many issues there were on defense. We'll get into that. Would have liked to seen us to use Vooch in the post more. I agree with that statement, but I also think Vooch just had a horrible game. It seemed like Vooch just could not make anything tonight. And I'm not too upset at that, as he was continuing to rebound. But there were moments where I'm like, we need Vooch, and I'm like, hey, you got to show up, man, and he didn't show up. So that definitely was like a little scary. Bulls probably could have looked to take advantage of the lack of Brooklyn Nets size a little bit more, but um, I think in the end we saw like it wasn't going to be up to Vooch to close this game out. It had to be a collective unit, and the Bulls going out on the fast break to get some points in transition to start getting back into this one. But couple of things that kind of stood out to me throughout this one was the Bulls. Their offense in the first half looked rough, man. Like it was rough in the first half. And I'm not like I wasn't too like upset in the first half on the offensive end as they got off to a better start than usual, which was good to see. The defense wasn't as good though, but it was more like we started seeing at the end of the second quarter and kind of start of the third quarter where the offense was starting to really not look good, and it was a lot of half court scheme. Like it was just mostly half court offense, and that's the part where it's like this Bulls team needs to do better on offensive end. And when they get the rebound, or even if the opposing team scores, they got to go out and look to run and score a transition bucket instead of thinking, all right, let's slow the game down and run a half court set. And the half court offense was not working against this Brooklyn Nets team who is ranked 29th in defense. Like, that wasn't good to see at all. But once you saw Billy Donovan, he took out Vooch, he took out a couple other guys, and the Bulls started pushing tempo. That's when this Bulls team went on that run to close the third quarter. And obviously, we saw Zach take over in the fourth with still a similar unit out there, running out and getting out in the fast break, getting those transition opportunities. And that's what allowed the Bulls to get this win tonight against the Brooklyn Nets. So, um, it's honestly, I honestly think it's just about effort with this team. I think this team has all the pieces to be a very winning team. Not a finals contender or a deep playoff run, but they should be doing better than 4-4 currently. And I think it's honestly, unless we if we just take away the Washington and the San Antonio Spurs game, this team should be a lot better, right? I mean, those were two games that they should have won but didn't. But then in all the other games, I think they played well. So it's important that this team just gives that effort consistently, and I think we're looking fine with this Bulls team. So yeah, that's that. A couple of things I also want to point out here. Bulls did a good job overall on the glass. There was definitely some moments where you could definitely see Drummond, like, oh man, we needed Drummond in the second unit. When Billy Diamond went small with Derrick Jones Jr. running center, that was a bit of an issue. As we were giving up too many second chance opportunities, or couldn't get the rebound quickly enough to run out and get out in a fast break. But still, though, the Bulls won the rebound battle, which is something that has not been consistent throughout the season so far. So good job by the Bulls to win the rebounding battle tonight. But you can also see that they struggled on offense because they only had 20 assists when we're used to seeing that being 25 plus. So Bulls struggled on the offensive end overall until Zach obviously took over, and the end of the third quarter was also really good to see. But biggest thing, in my opinion, out of all of this is the 9 turnovers, because you saw what happened to the Brooklyn Nets down the stretch. The Brooklyn Nets, this has been kind of their theme. They've been imploding kind of, in multiple spurts throughout the crucial moments of a game. They'll implode. And we saw it tonight where when the Bulls were starting to make that run in the fourth quarter, that they just kind of throw it to KD, they'll throw it to Kyrie, and they're like, okay, go do something. And we're going to only play off you, and pressure burst pipes, as Stacey King says. So you started seeing the turnovers, and I would assume running out and just absolutely reading all the passes by Kevin Durant. And we saw them start getting lazy and sloppy with the basketball, and it completely shifted the game, where the Bulls were out and running all of a sudden, and the Bulls were getting transition opportunities, and the Brooklyn Nets just could not find any offense. So I know a lot of people were like, man, the Bulls, the offense was not good in the first half, and going into the third quarter, it didn't look good. But the 9 turnovers, I think, is huge for this Bulls team, because if they turn the ball over more in this game, they lose. As simple as that. It's honestly as simple as that, because this Brooklyn team can 100% run, and you can't just basically feed their team points in transition. So that's huge in my opinion. I know we didn't have as many assists as we probably would have liked, but good job by the Bulls to make sure that they only had 9 turnovers for this game, and held onto the ball and had control of the ball all game. Welcome in, guys. I'm seeing that we're getting a lot more viewers here. Zach LaVine absolutely took over this game. I'm very happy to see that as a Bulls fan and as a big Zach fan. Let me know you guys' thoughts on this game in the comments, and I want to kind of let you guys kind of run the stream tonight. Not to be that long of a stream, but I want to see you guys just kind of run this one, and I'll go off of you guys. So welcome in. Glad the Bulls got the win, and I hope you guys are as well. But the Chicago Bulls won against the Brooklyn Nets 108-99. Zach LaVine absolutely took over in the fourth quarter, outscoring the Brooklyn Nets 20-19. And it was just kind of like a flip on its head in this game, honestly, as we saw the Bulls struggle in the first half and then in the end of the third into the fourth quarter really turn on their offense. But I want to point out a couple things in the box score here, as there was a couple things that I think kind of went under the radar in this game. First off, Ayo Dosunmu had a great game. I think a lot of people don't give Ayo enough credit for what he does. But Ayo Dosunmu, after missing that 76ers game, which the Bulls could have 100% could have won if he or they 100% needed him in that game. And he was 7-11 and was finishing in the paint a lot, and it was awesome to see. And he was absolutely just playing free safety against Kevin Durant, honestly. So that was awesome to see by Ayo Dosunmu, and he came with some huge buckets down the stretch. Patrick Williams had a great game, arguably his best game this year. And as you can see, if he plays well, he plays more. So he had a really good game tonight, 7 rebounds. But the biggest thing was on offense, man. He was really looking to score. And the Bulls definitely needed it early on as the team was struggling to score early game. And then obviously Goran Dragic, I can't forget him because he came in the first half as well. But he was the Bulls' leading scorer at halftime. And for a team that was struggling to score, he was showing up. And what a great job by Goran Dragic in this game to help keep this Bulls team in it as well. What's going on, guys? Marcus, good to see you. Do you want to see Zach ISO more? I honestly don't. What I actually want to see Zach do more is post up. I think I want to see Zach LaVine post up a lot more. We haven't really seen Zach post up at all this year, but I think because you can tell right now that Zach he's not 100% with his explosiveness. I think we kind of all know that Zach's explosiveness just isn't where it used to be right now. And I don't think that's a permanent thing. I think a lot of people kind of think it's permanent, but even let's just say it is permanent. I don't think it is, by the way. He can still be effective in the post and still get to his spots in the post and still be an effective scorer. So I like to see more of that, but I don't want to see the isolation at the top of the key really that much. I think that's something the Bulls need to absolutely get rid of, unless it's like, fourth quarter crunch time. But I think it's important that we have Zach constantly moving because he's such a great off-ball player. He's not just an on-ball scorer. He's a great off-ball scorer as well. What's up, Calvin? Glad to see you. What do you think about the defense of KD? I thought the Bulls actually played great defense on Kevin Durant all game, honestly. And we'll get to some clips here that show like them getting the ball out of his hands. But we also saw just Kevin Durant be Kevin Durant. I mean, the dude was 9 for 17 with 12 free throws and had 32 points. Like, that's ridiculous. The big thing was obviously the 6 turnovers, but Kevin Durant is just going to be Kevin Durant. And he hit some fadeaway shots where I'm like, my goodness, man. What a crazy shot that dude makes. But that's Kevin Durant, and we know that KD can do that at all times. Most improved player. If he continues to put up 17 points per game, he could definitely be in the conversation. But I think there's some other people that probably deserve it right now. What's going on, Jakes? Glad to see you, man. Couldn't watch your San Antonio live stream, but now I'm here. Much to win today. My prediction was right. Yeah, your prediction was right. Yeah, definitely a much needed win. I said on the Paul Sports Radio and to other people like on Twitter that this was a must-win game for the Bulls, and it's a must-win game to win in Brooklyn, and it's also a must-win game against the Charlotte Hornets. So the Bulls, they got half of it done tonight, but they got to win against Charlotte tomorrow, as we have not won a single game going into this game in any of our back-to-back games. We were 0-4 in back-to-back games. Bulls finally got a win in a back-to-back scenario. I really thought we did what we could against KD. I felt good about most of his makes. Yeah, honestly, I'm with you, Calvin. Like, I thought KD was just being the unfair scorer that he was, honestly, all game. Um, I think that you can't really do anything against Kevin Durant if he's knocking down shots over two contested hands. Like, you just tip your cap and be like, all right, Kevin Durant's Kevin Durant. um, the biggest thing for me is when the Bulls were double teaming him on the post. When KD posted up, we saw the Bulls bring the double team, and that's when I thought the defense was bad. Because we saw that the Bulls in rotation were awful when Kevin Durant was in the post and they brought the double team. So I thought that the Bulls defense, not on ball on Kevin Durant when he was in the post, was poor, but when the off ball defense when he was in the post was awful. Like, the on ball was fine, and you can't really do anything about it, honestly. Um, and I want to give a shout out to Patrick Williams because he started on KD. I think Patrick did a good job on KD tonight. Like, I had no issues with what he was doing. And again, you just have to let Kevin Durant score. And he absolutely cooked at the end of the first quarter. But if he scores 14 out of the 25 points for the Brooklyn Nets, I think you're actually kind of in a good spot because that means that it's only him that's kind of scoring. But obviously other people got hot as well. For the Brooklyn side, the big storyline was that Kyrie Irving was not scoring. Kyrie was scoreless through three quarters. It's been he was scoreless at halftime, which was like the first time in 4 years, I believe they said on the broadcast. I thought Io was basically had him locked down. But it also just kind of seemed like Kyrie was like doing some really weird stuff out there. It didn't seem like normal Kyrie Irving, in my opinion. Um, so I don't know if there's anything about that. Maybe he's affected by the Steve Nash firing, but it did not seem like Kyrie Irving because Kyrie came into this game averaging 30 and a half points. Him and KD were responsible for 55% of the Brooklyn's points so far this season. And he comes in and he doesn't have a good game to start. So that was just so odd to see. But good job by the Bulls because if there is one player, if there is one star that you can actually like really contain, it is Kyrie Irving between KD and Kyrie. And they were able to contain Kyrie Irving tonight. But I think issue wise for the Bulls, when you look at this box score, Royce O'Neal had 20 points. That's unacceptable. He got a lot of points off the Kevin Durant, post up, and he was on the weak side, and the defense didn't rotate. That's unacceptable. And Nick Claxton had a 10 and 10 game. He was extremely effective. I was really impressed with him. And the Bulls got to do a better job guarding the pick and roll, man, because he was kind of messing us up in the pick and roll. And obviously, no Ben Simmons tonight. I don't know if that actually would have helped or hurt Brooklyn, honestly. No disrespect to Ben Simmons, but they have a lot of issues right now, as we all know, as Ben Simmons is dealing with a knee issue that actually looks a little bit more serious than we thought. What's up, Jakes? How much do you think Kyrie issues affected his game today? I think it was more the Brooklyn Nets issues than Kyrie specific issues that affected him probably today. He probably was kind of blindsided by the Steve Nash firing. Um, and yeah, I don't know, man. I think that Kyrie was just like kind of hit by a truck by that Steve Nash firing, and then all of a sudden, you got to play again tonight after you just won yesterday. And he just didn't look good. He didn't show up till the fourth. Honestly, he was taking some weird shots. And I kind of think that if anything, if Kyrie wasn't affected by any of this stuff, I think it was more that he was kind of like revolting, in my opinion. I think he was kind of like upset and was kind of like, I don't care about this possession. I'll take whatever shot I get, right? So maybe maybe that's what it was, where he was just kind of taking some weird shots because there were a couple of shots tonight where I'm like, Kyrie could have gotten to the rim there, and he just didn't. He just decided to take the three for some reason. So I don't know exactly what's up with that, but it's something to definitely keep looking at. What are your thoughts, Jags, on Kyrie? As he didn't, yeah, I don't know what's up with him, but I'd like to hear everyone else's thoughts on Kyrie's struggles tonight. As the Bulls, Ayo Dosunmu and Alex Caruso did a good job of locking him up tonight. But let's see here. I'm gonna get into some of the gameplay here as I wanna show some clips from tonight's game. But go ahead and leave your thoughts in the chat. I want to hear you guys' thoughts on this game. Bulls get a big victory in a must-win game, in my opinion. And it was so important for this Bulls team to get this victory tonight because if we lost against Brooklyn, we're not looking good. Hopefully the Heat lost tonight. Oh no, they won tonight. So yeah, it's a dogfight in the Eastern Conference right now. Let's see here. DVR. You might hear a noise in a second. This is just me pulling up the clip. I apologize. Uh, let's see here. While I'm doing this, I want to talk about Nikola Vucevic as a lot of people were kind of. I believe Marcus was brought up Vuce, or who was it? Someone brought up Vuce. I apologize. I'm forgetting. Yeah. Sorry. It's Kevin. It was Kevin that brought up Vuce. I think this game was one of those games where it was like, man, it sucks seeing Vooch struggle when we kind of needed him. When the offense was kind of struggling, but you have to appreciate the rebounds, right? Last year, it seemed like Vooch was ineffective when he wasn't scoring. This year, it's like he's still doing other things if he's not scoring, and that's exactly what we need from Nikola Vucevic as well. What's going up, Mikey? I see you there. Hold on a second. I saw Vooch got a good paint match against KD once near the end. He looked energized and tried to spin, but KD attacked it out of his hands. Good to see the effort, though. Yeah, I think Kevin Durant doesn't get enough credit for how good of a defender he actually is. But posting up KD's no joke, right? He's 6'11", arguably 7 feet, long wingspan. So I like that the Bulls went to Vooch in that scenario, but I also think Vooch needs to do a little bit better job of finishing through big men because it's not just KD that he's going to be posting up now from here on out. So I think Vooch needs to do a little bit better job trying to punish KD on the block, but still a good job by the Bulls to look at that. Look at that matchup and find Vucevic in the post, which I think the Bulls actually found him a good amount of times tonight, but they didn't. He just didn't convert, unfortunately. Let's see here. So I want to show you a correct rotation, and then and very similar plays, I'm going to show you a bad rotation by the Bulls first on KD getting the ball in the post, but then I'm also going to show you a good rotation by the Bulls with when KD was in the post. Both are in the first quarter. And I want to show you exactly what I'm talking about for this Bulls team where the rotations were awful in the first half. It was just straight up bad. And it's on the Bulls to do a better job when this starts to happen. All right, this is early. Hold on. I got to find this. Sorry, 1 second. Yeah, Bulls just need to do a better job on the rotations. It's just straight up. As the Brooklyn Nets cooked us from 3-point land early in the game. Luckily, the shooting evened out at the end of the game, so that helped the Bulls, obviously. Let's see here. So Kevin Durant, when he catches the ball in the post, in the post, you're seeing the Bulls double. That's the defense, right? The Bulls are doubling Kevin Durant, and when KD gets doubled, it's on the Bulls to rotate correctly. And what we were seeing early on was this Bulls team was not rotating correctly at all. We saw the Bulls give up a lot of drives to the rim and also a lot of weak side shots, like wide open weak side shots. That's just inexcusable. The Bulls, if you're gonna double team Kevin Durant on the block, you have to rotate correctly. There is just no excuse. Sorry, I'm still trying to find the clip here. Let's see. Sorry, guys. Trying to find this one. That's not it. Give me a second here. I apologize. Again, go ahead and put down in the chat on Zach's amazing fourth quarter, or any thoughts that you had on this game as well, and then also talk about potentially the Charlotte game that's coming up here. Let's see. I can watch this one honestly. Okay, I found the clip. All right, here we go, guys. So this right here, this is what I'm talking about when we're doubling Kevin Durant. All right, so this is a post-up play. This is a set play for the Brooklyn Nets. Kevin Durant's just gonna get the block or get the ball on the block. All right, here we go. I need my epic pen. Sorry, hold on. So when this like you're seeing the Bulls, you're already seeing with Ayo Dosunmu right here. They're coming over to double immediately, right? This is a double team by the Chicago Bulls. Right when Kevin Durant catches the ball on the post, they do not want to let Kevin Durant get a one-on-one post up against whoever the defender is. I don't care if this is Paul George or Kawhi Leonard or anybody. Even if it's Giannis, I still think it's a bad move because KD in the post is too good. So immediately you're seeing right when he catches the ball, the closest defender on the perimeter, strong side, is coming over to double him. In this case, it's Ayo Dosunmu, right? He comes off Kyrie Irving immediately. So when this happens, it's important for the Bulls defense to rotate because right now, with Ayo coming over, that means KD can throw this ball back out to Kyrie Irving for an open three-point shot. Right when Ayo goes, it's on DeMar DeRozan to come over to get Kyrie Irving. And when that happens, it's on Zach LaVine to come over and take DeMar's man in Royce O'Neal. I understand that this leaves Joe Harris wide open in the corner, and he's a good three-point shooter, but I'm going to show you a play where the Bulls rotated correctly, and Durant tried to throw it to the corner, and it resulted in a turnover. Because you want to let this corner man be open, because this sort of pass across the court, that little skip pass, it's rough. That's a tough pass to do. So, you see here, I'm drawing out what the Bulls need to do defensively, okay? Now, after KD catches the ball, it's either on Ayo Dosunmu or Patrick Williams to then run over to Joe Harris and get him. And in this case, it's usually Ayo. He's the one that came off of Kyrie. He needs to then, after the KD passes it back out, he needs to run straight over to Joe Harris wherever he is on the court. But instead here, you're going to see that for some reason, and I don't understand this, right here, I don't know why Vucevic is coming out to guard Kyrie Irving. There is no reason for Nikola Vucevic to come out to guard Kyrie Irving. And you see that DeMar's late, right? DeMar had no recognition at all. And this is on DeMar DeRozan. This all starts because DeMar DeRozan wasn't paying attention. And so Nikola Vucevic decides to leave Nick Claxton and run out to Kyrie Irving, which is basically barbecue chicken, as Shaq likes to call it. So that's not good. So this is already, you can see, everyone's confused now, right? So ball got thrown back out. So you're seeing Ayo's run all the way over here. He's a little bit late as well. But what's happening here? I don't understand what's happening between DeMar DeRozan and Nick Claxton. Like this right here, what I'm seeing by DeMar DeRozan, he's in no man's land. This is inexcusable. And Zach can't go to guard DeRozan's man until DeRozan commits to Ayo's man. So this defensive breakdown is because of DeMar DeRozan not paying attention. And for some reason, Nikola Vucevic is out guarding Kyrie Irving. And you see now Zach is doing the right thing. He comes off his man and is exactly where he should be. But for some reason, the Bulls have two guys guarding one man for whatever reason. And it's not Kevin Durant. So I don't know what happened here. And Ayo, again, he needs to get over here quicker. He just has to. It's as simple as that. This right here is awful. You can see where everything went wrong, right? A wide open three-point shooter. Ayo's late. For some reason, the Bulls have two guys guarding Royce O'Neal on the swing. Like, that makes no sense at all. And luckily for us, it resulted in a missed three-point shot. But it's still poor defense. That's awful defense by the Bulls. Rotations weren't correct. You got two guys running out to one three-point shooter. That's inexcusable. And I don't understand why the Bulls continue to have these issues. This is just a continuous issue for the Chicago Bulls this season, and I don't know why. And it's making me upset. This should not be an issue at all, and I'm really upset to see that. So let me know what you guys' thoughts on that little breakdown here. Now I'm going to skip over to 625. I believe it's after a commercial break here. But I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about for the Bulls on the defensive end, what I want to see from them. And it's this right here. So, like we just talked about, when Kevin Durant catches the ball, we're double teaming, right? And right now, Zach LaVine, it's on Zach LaVine's the weak side defender, right? So he is actually supposed to leave Yuta Watanabe, who I like, open here. Okay, if the Bulls rotate this, do this rotation correctly, this should be fine. Like, there is no way you're making this skip pass over. And watch what happens. So DeMar comes over and rotates or comes over to double team off Royce O'Neal. Okay, you got 2 on Kevin Durant immediately when he catches the ball. Now, Royce O'Neal messed up here. Royce O'Neal actually was like, instead of standing right here to force the rotation by Io, he decided to run back over here, and so it's on Zach LaVine to come over to guard Royce O'Neal. Now, this made the possession so much easier for the Bulls, right? So Zach did a good job. He's coming over to take this away from Royce O'Neal. Io stayed on Kyrie Irving. The Bulls have 2 guys guarding Kevin Durant. Yuta Watanabe over here is wide open, right? But as I've been saying constantly, it is so difficult to make this little skip pass from corner to corner. It is so hard to do this pass. And watch KD try to attempt this while he's double teamed. It ends up being a turnover, right? That's the reason why it's important for this Bulls defense on the weak side to rotate correctly. If you're going to double on the post, let that man in the other corner be wide open. You have to cover all the other angles, though, so they can't easily get a wide open 3-point shot off the post up. Because the only way the ball is going to get to Yuta Watanabe in that possession is if it gets thrown back out and it's swung to him. That takes more time. But you can't make that skip pass from the post to Yuta Watanabe to get an easy open shot. So this is a good example of the Bulls rotating correctly. But for some reason, the Bulls just aren't doing this right. They're not doing this consistently. They did it good here, but they're not doing it consistently. Calvin, I don't think it's on the coaching either. I think it's all on the players personally. I would agree with you. And I think I don't want to be like too harsh, but this is a lot of the defensive problems right now is DeMar DeRozan. Like, DeRozan's defense has looked awful this year. It is just straight up awful. He looks lost, and I don't know what happened. In theory, with chemistry, this defense should get better. But instead, we're seeing that the guys seem a lot more confused on defense, and that it doesn't make any sense. It's still the same defensive scheme, honestly. What's going on, Anthony? Caruso played hard D in the fourth when it mattered. Yes, he did. Also had a nice 3 to keep the run alive. Yes, he did as well. That run at the end of the third quarter going into the fourth, where Caruso hit a 3, was huge. He played awesome all game. And it's going to be interesting to see what the Bulls do with Caruso, because it really looks like Billy Donovan is trying his best to limit his minutes. But I think while Lonzo's out, I don't know how long you can limit Caruso's minutes. And especially with no Kobe White tonight and the Bulls are shorthanded, like, I think Caruso needs to play at least 28 minutes easily. I know he's, on the ground and constantly running and diving for loose balls, but I think Caruso, man, he needs to play, especially if Lonzo's out, because his defense is too important for this Bulls team for him to be on the bench right now. For more than half the game. Like, you played 23 out of the 48 minutes. It needs to be more than that, in my opinion. So, yeah, that's just that's my breakdown of this Bulls defense. That it needs to get better. I showed you where it went bad, and I showed you where it was good. I'm gonna pull up a thing here that I bookmarked that I thought was really interesting. I believe it was tweeted out by MK Hoops. I didn't bookmark it. Hold on, give me a sec. But I'm going to show you more 3-point looks that the Brooklyn Nets got in the first half. That was just so awful. But awful defense by the Bulls. Injury prone, but ideally we need more minutes out of him. Yeah, and I'm saying 28, right? I'm not saying like play him 32. I'm saying 28, and I think it's important that that we get him out there on the court. Tomorrow marks 5 weeks, I believe, since Lonzo's second surgery. Yeah, I believe that's correct. And I don't expect any update anytime soon, honestly. And I don't think we should, unfortunately. MC season, why is Billy trying to limit AC's minutes? It's because he missed 41 games last season. And it was due to him diving so much for loose balls and basically taking a beating on his body. And Billy Donovan's like, hey, I'm going to limit your minutes so you can't be doing that for 30-plus minutes per game. We're going to limit you to only in the 20s. And that's the reason I'm like, I say just play him 28 instead of, 32. But that's the reason why his minutes are being restricted right now. If you do not remember, I mean, Alex Caruso was closing games early in the season when the Bulls were winning, right? He was closing every single game. He was playing 30-plus minutes a night off the bench. now it looks like they're not doing that, and I like that. It shouldn't be 30 minutes, but it should be close to 28, in my opinion, instead of 23, because his defense is so necessary out there. He's one of the best defenders in the NBA. You have to put him out there. Why not develop Terry, though? I actually thought that Terry would get some run tonight with no Kobe White, but I'm fine with him not playing right now. It'll be interesting to see if the Bulls send him down to the G League this season. I don't think they will, but I know with Terry that even if he's not playing, he's still going to be working hard. So I'm okay with Terry not playing right now. And unfortunately for him, his defense, or sorry, his 3-point shot is too inconsistent right now for this Bulls team to play him. I think he's a great defender already, but this Bulls team can't rely on a rookie this right now, especially with guys out. Like, you have to rely on the vets that are here right now. And we can't rely on Dalen. I love Dalen though. I think he'll be just fine. Let's see here. I want to pull this up. I want to show you a couple of other things, and I appreciate Mark tweeting all this out because I don't want to go searching for all this stuff here. So this is a compilation of every single three that the Brooklyn Nets had in the first half. I apologize for the noise. Let's watch this here together, okay? We're gonna be looking at all right, so let's just break down each one together, okay? Right here, turnover, right? This right here, I don't know exactly what happened, but if you're Patrick Williams, you can't do this, right? This isn't Nikola Vucevic's man. Vucevic has to stay on Nick Claxton, okay? I know P. Will just turned it over, but you can't be trying to steal the ball back and coming off your man, okay? Now, right here, you see that there's a huge miscommunication because you're going to see Javonte Green looks like he's guarding Joe Harris, but he stops and decides to guard KD here. And then I don't know what Vucevic is guarding, but he should have been guarding Claxton, which should have put Patrick Williams all the way over on Joe Harris or on Kevin Durant, whichever one. I don't care. But poor miscommunication by the Bulls leads to this wide open 3-point shot for Joe Harris. Now, I actually think the Bulls, we're seeing a lot of that in transition where we don't find the shooters, but in the half court, I don't think that's the issue. I think the issue is other stuff, which I'm going to show you here later on in this video, where it's like we're seeing guys driving and getting open looks. So, for example, here, this is, I don't even, is that Sharp? I don't even know who this is, but he gets Ayo Dosunmu to bite on a little fake, and then he goes baseline here. Oh, sorry, that's highlighter. He goes baseline here, and you see right now the Bulls' rotations are bad. The Bulls always force guys to go baseline. That's their defense. So Ayo got crossed up here, but you still made him go baseline. So if you're Vooch, you got to come over and help here. But for some reason, he doesn't. And it just basically results in a whole issue for this Bulls team. As you're going to see here, he kind of comes over, not nearly in time. And if you're going on Dragic, you need to run out to this 3-point shooter, right? This is an example of the point of attack defense not doing its job. The initial rotation was late. So DeMar actually did his job to come in and cover Claxton. But if you're Dragic, you got to come out and guard the corner because any drive baseline, the release valve is the corner. So it's important that the Bulls fix this. So this one's on Dragic, okay? I don't know why he just was in no man's land here, but you see he's late and ends up being a 3-point shot. I've been saying that it's been more the Bulls give up drives that get kicked out for threes instead of Bulls defenders just not paying attention to 3-point shooters. It's the rotations that get the Bulls all messed up and getting 3-point looks. This is just a contested 3-point shot by Patty Mills. Good contest by Zach. You tip your cap. Now, no issues with that one. Now, this right here, watch. See? Pump fake, drive. You're past Derrick Jones Jr. What happens? Defense has to rotate. Look at Alex Caruso. He has to come off of Yuta Watanabe right here. And I actually think the Bulls did this right. I think the Bulls actually defended this one correctly. But you're going to see here that because Derrick Jones Jr. got beat, you see Patrick Williams came in. You saw Alex Caruso come over from Yuta Watanabe. And because Alex Caruso came over, Zach came off Patty Mills to guard his man. That's right. That's the correct thing to do. You can't let Yuta Watanabe be wide open in the middle of the paint here. And you see Royce O'Neal, he basically kicks it back out to Patty Mills. And I'm fine with this, honestly. Like, this is a good contested 3-point look. And a good contest by Zach. I think the Bulls defended that correctly. But, those go in every single game. There's one possession, I forgot which quarter, but the Bulls were scrambling on defense and 3 Bulls were chasing the ball and left a wide open Nets player in the corner. I was really horrified when I saw it. That's in this play. In this video. I know exactly what you're talking about, Jigs. And it's on Javonte Green. That it was Javonte Green's issue. We'll show it in a second here. Again, KD's KD. Okay, there's nothing you can do about Kevin Durant pulling up in transition with a hand in his face. It's Kevin Durant, right? So be it. That's just unfair. You can't be upset about it. So this is the play, Jigs, that you're talking about. Okay, this is exactly what this is. So we just talked about when Kevin Durant catches the ball, the Bulls are immediately double teaming him if he's in the post. So he catches the ball, gets Alex Caruso on the block. If you're Javonte Green, you need to commit to this double team. He does not commit to this double team, and it messes up the entire defense because he didn't commit to this double team. And if he commits to this double team, the Bulls' rotation looks just fine. But instead, we see that he doesn't commit to this double team, and we see everybody's all out of sorts. So let's break it down as the Bulls get all messed up here. So ball is thrown to Kevin Durant. Javonte comes over, but then he doesn't commit. KD throws it back out, but we just talked about. So Javonte came off his man. Well, then that means Goran Dragic has to cover his man. DeMar DeRozan has to come up and guard Dragic's man, and then Javonte needs to run over to the corner. But you see here instead, Javonte doesn't commit. He then runs back out to his man while Dragic is also coming over here, and that messes up everything. And we see DeRozan does his job, which is exactly what he's supposed to do, and the ball gets swung around, wide open 3-point shot in the corner, bang by Yuta Watanabe. So that's exactly the play you're talking about, Jigs, where it's just wide open, and it was just awful. Io surprises me, but just how consistent he is. He knows when to drive. His pick and roll is solid, and his defense disrupts otherwise good offensive sets. Good offensive sets. Francisco, welcome in. Yeah, I totally agree with you. I'm really impressed with Io DeSumo. I mean, incredible game by Io, and his shot, you definitely could tell, was a little off because he missed the game, but he looked great tonight. I'm really happy for him. Also, Nets for all-time drama team. Yeah, man. The Nets look like, I call them like the Kardashians of the NBA right now. Like, it's bad right now for Brooklyn in terms of all that stuff. I said in one of these live streams, and I also just wrote an article about Steve Nash. Like, I think Steve Nash was a horrible coach. He's not the sole issue of the Brooklyn Nets, but he is not a good coach. He deserved to be fired, in my opinion. But the fact that the Nets are now looking at Ime Udoka, like, it looks awful on them right now. So if you want to comment on the Ime Udoka potential hiring that might happen in the next 24 to 48 hours, go ahead. It just looks awful for them, honestly. So yeah, Nets look crazy right now. I'm gonna finish this little compilation, and then I'll let you guys kind of take over the stream for a bit here. Again, Kevin Durant, you can't really do anything about this. Contested 3-point shot. It is what it is. Good for media, bad for the owner of the Nets and its org. Is it Caper Crusader? Is that how I say it? Yeah, I mean, it's definitely news for the media, and they love it. But I don't understand the Nets PR team, if it even exists. But I don't know, man. The Nets just look like they don't have a PR team right now, and it looks bad. Mikey, Nets are straight up villains so far this season. Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. But the issue is that they're now 2-6. So I don't know if you could be much of a villain if you're not playing well. Some say cut Kyrie. I don't think they should cut Kyrie. In my opinion, though, personally, I think Adam Silver needs to suspend him. I'm not very happy with him promoting that anti-Semitic movie or whatever. I know the tweet's gone, but Reggie Miller made a good point during the broadcast that if you're going to be if you're gonna make owners be held accountable, you gotta make the players be held accountable. And Myers Leonard was held accountable by the Players Association, and he has not been on the court since. Right? I think the NBA and the NBPA needs to actually consider it, suspending Kyrie and making sure that he goes through some training. In my opinion, that's just my opinion. I wouldn't cut Kyrie. Not at all. Do you think P. Will keeps this up, or if he regresses again, what do we do? So with P. Will, I've said this about Patrick Williams. I think with Patrick Williams, I know he struggled to start the year. Most recently, from the preseason through the first 4 games, I was very concerned about Patrick Williams. Like every single game, I got more and more concerned. But I've said this on this channel. When it comes to a player like Patrick Williams, who has all the potential in the world, we have to remember he's 21. You have to be patient with him. Now, for other players, for example, like the Markkanens or the Wendell Carter Juniors, and I know Markkanen's playing phenomenal through the first 8 games for the Jazz, but I'm waiting 25 games, in my opinion, and let's see where he is then. But those guys aren't two-way superstar potential guys, right? You don't have the time to wait for those guys to become the best in themselves, right? But with Patrick Williams, this guy has two-way superstar potential. He may never hit that, but because he has that potential, especially being a two-way player, you have to be patient with him. So even if he regresses, you still got to stick with him, in my opinion. And do the best you can possible to develop him. And I don't know what that entails. Maybe that is him coming off the bench in 20 games. But I personally would keep him in the starting lineup even if he is struggling, or if he regresses. Because I think it's important for him to just stick with this starting lineup. Because honestly, I think P. Will, I would assume, and Zach LaVine, they're going to be playing with each other for the next 4 seasons. So it's important for him to at least develop the chemistry with those guys, and most likely with DeMar as well. So it's important to keep Patrick Williams on the floor. Jigs, I saw a comment on a post of Nets hiring Ime. It said, Ime looking for a Nets employee right now? Oh, God. Oh, boy. Francisco, yeah. Look, man, I don't even know what to say at this point with this Brooklyn Nets team. That franchise looks so bad right now. And they looked like they were on top of the world for a little bit, and now it looks like they're in the dumpster fire. It just looks incredibly awful. So bad stuff in Brooklyn. Zach Lowe kind of broke it down on ESPN earlier, where it's like we can go back to literally, the Kyrie Irving vaccination issue, right? That's where it seemed like everything just got all started, but it just seemed that after that it was like the first domino to fall, and then everything just started falling over as well. I agree. Patience, AK invested in the squad. Thanks. Yeah, that's my opinion, Anthony, and I appreciate you asking the question, and I appreciate your opinion as well. So I appreciate you chatting it in here. I'm glad with the engagement in this stream, guys. Last stream I had no people watching, so I appreciate you guys coming out. DJJ playing with effort and producing results off the bench might have a little bit lit a fire in P. Will. He might have been cut off the second unit if Derrick Jones Jr. proved much more. Yeah, potentially. Yeah, I could definitely see that happening. I'm sure those guys are pushing each other in practice every single time as well. So yeah, I could definitely see that happening too. But I think with Derrick Jones Jr., I like the role that he's in now. I just don't think starting is a good idea for him. But I like where he is right now. And once Drummond comes back, I like that he's playing in the 4 position again, because you could tell. I mean, I know Derrick Jones Jr. is incredibly athletic and has amazing verticality, but I don't like him playing the 5. It's just too small for the Bulls. What do rotations look like once Lonzo is back? It seems like a lot of Bulls fans want to know this immediately. A lot of Bulls fans are asking this question. But when Lonzo comes back, first off, when Lonzo does officially step onto the court for the first time in forever, we're going on 10 months now, right? And it's soon to be 11 months. And I don't think he's going to be playing until January. So it's probably going to be a year since he actually played an NBA game. Lonzo, I think, is going to be coming off the bench to start. He's going to be on a minutes restriction. He's going to be coming off the bench. They're going to basically kind of ease his way into playing shape again. I'd assume it still starts. I think the Bulls starting five doesn't look any different, barring injuries, when Lonzo comes back. Now, when Lonzo comes and and it's a big, I should say, if Lonzo comes into playing shape again and is ready to play those starting minutes again, I think this year you're going to see Lonzo Ball start. But what I won't be shocked to see is if the Bulls run, I would assume, and Lonzo Ball to close games. Because I think Io's been so important to this team that, and you're seeing how good of a player he is on both ends of the court, that you can legitimately make an argument right now that he should be closing games, even if he doesn't start games. So I think that's what you might see. I've been saying that a lineup of Io running the point, Lonzo at the two, or pick whoever between LaVine, Lonzo, and DeRozan playing the two, and then same thing at the three and whoever at the four. That's what you're probably going to see. I think playing Lonzo on the wing is a good idea, but we'll see how the chemistry all kind of works out. Do you think teams are keying off the fact that the Bulls are prioritizing lane integrity and we are looking to kick out as much in the first quarter? So, yeah, I think teams are definitely noticing it. But if you're the Bulls, right, if you rotate correctly, you're contesting basically every 3-point shot that you had the team kick out. That's what you want. But because this Bulls team is not rotating correctly, the team's getting wide open 3-point looks. That's the part that's inexcusable. And you're definitely right that teams are starting to notice that that the Bulls are looking to protect the paint. Like, it's the same thing with the Milwaukee Bucks. The Milwaukee Bucks, they played this exact same style of defense where it's protect the paint, protect the paint, protect the paint. They will do everything possible to not give up any paint points. And you saw what the Miami Heat did in the bubble against them, that it's like the Miami Heat will just shoot the ball as many times as possible and live and die from the 3-point line. So yeah, there are teams definitely noticing it with the Bulls, but if this Bulls team just rotated correctly, I think this team's looking at a top 15 defense easily, and probably top 10. He should. I mean, like a year have him play basketball better, bench him. We're talking about Lonzo Caper. Yeah, I agree with that, and I think it's gonna be like 10 minutes, 12 minutes, 12 to 15 minutes to start for him, and then you're gonna see him ramp up into like the 20s, and then hopefully when the playoffs come around, he's back in the playing shape. Who would guard KD, Giannis, etc. with that closing lineup? It would be Lonzo. I know a lot of people are freaking out like Ball's a guard, but like when you watch last year's games when Lonzo was playing, Lonzo guarded Julius Randle against the New York Knicks. He guarded Kevin Durant when we won it in Brooklyn. Like, we've seen Lonzo Ball guard the 4-man on the opposing team multiple times. He is very capable of doing it, and in my opinion, like Lonzo Ball's built like a wing in today's game. Like, he is 6'6" with long arms and he's 220. Like, that's basically the wing in today's game. And I know a lot of people are like, well, who guards Giannis? Who guards KD? Like, I don't care if you have Kawhi Leonard. I don't care if you have Paul George. But you're not stopping those guys. Like, I don't care if you have the best defender ever. You're not going to stop those guys. It is what it is. You can't control that. So, in my opinion, I don't really care who guards them. Honestly, it's more so the Bulls can control that lineup out there on the offensive end. And if you have, let's replace Patrick Williams with Lonzo Ball in the starting lineup, I think we're looking at the shooter that this Bulls team needs in Lonzo Ball. We need a 40% 3-point shooter in the corner at all times, right? That's Lonzo Ball. Like, in my opinion, it works out just well, or perfectly fine. And I know a lot of people are going to always say Lonzo's a guard and he can only guard guards. He's guarded many people. He can guard 1 through 4 easily in today's NBA. So I just don't have that much of an issue seeing Lonzo guarding a Kevin Durant in the playoffs. Because I mean, if we put Patrick Williams on him, like what difference is that? In my like, Lonzo Ball is a better defender than Patrick Williams. Like the other options for the Bulls on this team is Patrick Williams, Alex Caruso, Javonte Green, Derrick Jones Jr. All are smaller than Lonzo Ball, and except for Patrick Williams, and they're all thinner than Lonzo Ball. Like, what other option do the Bulls have besides putting Lonzo on those guys? So it just doesn't make sense to me that like people are kind of like upset whenever I like say something like that. But I understand the concern. I'll say that, but I think it's important for us to like also realize like there is no like you know like Gary Payton or like top tier like Kawhi Leonard type defender on this team. Um, let's see here. Every time I hear about this defensive strategy, I wonder about how it would fare against the Warriors with their 3-point shooting. Oh, I think this Bulls team gets wrecked by the Warriors if they play their big lineup. I think against the Warriors, you're going to see the Bulls are going to go small. And that's when the lineup, the defensive strategy shifts, where you're going to see the Bulls switch everything. That's when I would want Derrick Jones Jr. playing at the 5. I think that's when you're going to see a difference in defensive strategy. And then the Bulls aren't going to be doing the strategy that you're seeing here. You're going to see them prioritize making sure that they don't get any open 3-point looks at all and are not going to kick and drive out to the 3-point line. Sounds like you need to run film session instead of Billy. I don't know about that. I only grew up playing baseball, so I've never actually played basketball. But I study film a lot, so maybe I don't know. Calvin, I think we'll eventually get these rotations down sometime throughout the year. You'd hope, right? But I don't know, man. I'm very concerned. Because if DeMar DeRozan in like his 14th season, whatever season this is, can't get rotations down, like he's never gonna get it down. Like that's the part that bothers me. So I hope it eventually gets corrected, but I don't know. 3D and Lonzo, let's go. I mean, I think that's what Lonzo Ball is, but like I'm not. That's not pigeonholing him. I think that's just basically saying his strengths. And even if let's say we play Lonzo at the wing position, he's still able to get the rebound and push it up the court. And pass it up with his amazing full court vision. Like that doesn't go away just because he's not playing point guard. He's still able to do that. I just think that on the offensive end, especially in the half court, he's more of a wing. He's a phenomenal catch and shoot 3-point shooter. Phenomenal. One of the best in the league. Why would you take that away from him, right? Like, have him be in those positions. I think it's just the best thing possible. What happened to Debo? I went out to wash dishes really quickly, and I came back, and he was injured or something. So DeMar DeRozan on a play in the third quarter, he kind of tweaked his ankle a little bit. He's then hit a 3-point shot right after it. But, he definitely wasn't 100% for the rest of the game. But DeMar DeRozan, I mean, the dude is basically Iron Man, and he'll be playing tomorrow. I have no doubt about it. No chance against the Warriors, but we wouldn't see them until finals, if that's what you're saying. Okay, you're talking about the defense. Yeah. So, again, against the Warriors, I think you see a different defensive scheme. I think you see the Bulls go small, and you're switching a lot, probably a lot of Patrick Williams at the 5 or Derrick Jones Jr. at the 5. I think the defensive scheme absolutely changes. But you're not going to see them stick to this defensive scheme that I'm talking about. Caper, he is a guard, all right. He guards the best players. Yeah, Lonzo guards the best players, 100%. Should we sign DeMarcus Cousins? In my opinion, no. I don't think that's a good move, but I understand the thought process at least. But he's going to be such a liability on the defensive end, unfortunately, that I don't think it's worth it. I know people have been talking about Tony Bradley, being cut because now the Bulls can officially sign a minimum contract and not go into the luxury tax. We'll see if the Bulls decide to do that, but I don't see them picking up DeMarcus. I know a lot of people have also said Melo. I don't like that idea either. I personally don't know who I would go and sign if we decide to cut Tony Bradley or Marco, whoever it is. But I don't like either DeMarcus Cousins or Melo, in my opinion. Bulls did well versus the Heat, and Tyler Hero struggled. The Bulls did, the Bulls did a good job against Miami Heat, but even in that game, you saw a lot more switching, right? So I think, and also I have to say this about the Miami Heat, like I am concerned about Miami because I know they just beat the Warriors tonight, but like I'm worried that some of their best 3-point shooters, like Kyle Lowry, just won't be that consistent. And I think that kind of helped the Bulls in that game. Like Lowry had a horrible game. So I think that definitely helped. Also, Duncan Robinson isn't getting as much playing time because of his lack of defense. So I think that also helps as well for the Bulls because that's arguably the best 3-point shooter, not staying on the floor. Great stream. Appreciate it, Anthony. Appreciate it a lot. If you guys have not already, I would appreciate if you hit the like button on the stream. That really helps me out a lot, and I really appreciate all the support you guys are giving me with the live streams. I'm having a lot of fun with the live streams, man. I really am. I'm really happy with these live streams. Aldridge, I've thought about Aldridge as well. Again, though, defensive liability. But I wouldn't mind Aldridge, I guess, in terms of like a vet presence and teach you some of the younger guys, but I just don't see the fit. I like him more than Cousins, though. I'll say that. Clay is looking kind of bad right now. He might be done. So yeah, Klay Thompson is never, in my opinion, going to get back to that 20 plus points per game scorer and one of the best perimeter defenders in the league. But I think you're still going to see Clay be extremely effective. He's kind of on a minutes restriction early on in the season. Not like a heavy one, but they're watching him definitely. So I don't think he's done per se, but I don't think we're ever going to see normal Klay Thompson that we're used to seeing ever again. And luckily for the Warriors, they have literally everybody, coming down the line, right? You got Moses Moody, you got Jordan Poole, like you got all these guys to make up for Klay Thompson not being the best, the best player that he once was, right? We should get Derrick Rose, not for any great reason, but just like comment. So I actually agree with that, like in terms of basketball standpoint. I think that the Bulls would actually love a Derrick Rose right now because you can kind of tell that the Bulls' lack of how do I say this? They don't have that much dribble penetration currently. And I think Derrick could provide that immediately. I would love to have Derrick Rose off the bench right now. It almost seems like Goran Dragic is kind of like our best, penetrator on off the pick and roll. I think Io is also kind of up there, but like you can tell right now with Zach not being 100%, that there is not a lot of people running at the rim. So a guy like Derrick, I think, could actually help this team a lot. But I don't see it happening, unfortunately. I've had a classmate of mine say trade Kobe White for Derrick Rose. That's not happening. There's no reason for that to happen if you're the New York Knicks. The Knicks are trying to win, obviously. So doing that for Kobe White makes no sense at all. And I would not throw in a pick for Derrick Rose at this point of his career. So yeah, that's just that. At least that's my opinion. At least you guys can have your opinion as well. Let's see here. So yeah, we'll see how this Bulls team looks against other teams, like per se the Warriors. With their defense, I think you're going to see a lot of switching against the Warriors. But I think against most teams, you're seeing this defensive scheme where it's protect the paint most nights. I think that's the best way to do it. Honestly, I really do. And we have to understand as well, like when we talk about 3-point shooting teams, right? The Warriors, I know they're always brought up because of Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and the Splash Brothers. Like, I know they're brought up as like the team that shoots a bunch of threes. But if you actually look at their shot charts, like the Golden State Warriors, they have like the most diverse shot chart like out of most teams. Like they take mid-range shots, they take post-ups, like they do everything possible like to score from anywhere on the court. That's what makes them so deadly, is that if an opposing team tries to take away the 3-point shot, well, you have the mid-range. If they try to take away inside the paint, well, you got all these other options as well. Like, that's what makes the Warriors so deadly, is because they can score in every way on the basketball court. It's not just threes. It's not just layups. If you want a team that only shoots threes and layups, look at the Houston Rockets when they tried to beat the Golden State Warriors with James Harden. That's straight up just threes in paint. Like that's the reason why, in my opinion, the Rockets never got to the NBA Finals, is because if the threes weren't dropping, you're not going anywhere. They were basically living and dying by the three. And I think it's important for us to understand that, like, this analytics, like the analytics actually, I know it's like take a three over a mid-range shot, but when you start thinking about it, if an opposing defense is taking away the three-point shot, that if you're only shooting threes and layups, that only leaves you with paint points. That's the only way you're going to score for the rest of the game. That's not how you win basketball games. You have to score in multiple ways to win basketball games. Whether it's mid-range shots, pick and roll, through the post, cutting. Like, there's all these different ways to score. It's not just threes and layups for the Golden State Warriors. That's what makes them so deadly. That's the reason why, like, that Warriors team, like, this Warriors team is going to be around for forever, because they play the right way. They play with every ability they pass when anyone's open. They'll make sure the open man gets the shot, and they'll find ways to score if their three-point shot isn't going down. That's what makes them such a great team. And they have all the weapons to do such a thing. And it's just scary to think that this Warriors team, like, you're going to, like, whenever Steph goes and whenever Klay goes and Draymond goes, like, you got Jordan Poole, Moses Moody, Andrew Wiggins, Jonathan Kuminga, and James Wiseman. Like, that's just unfair. True, the Warriors are crazy stacked. They could repeat. Yeah, they definitely could repeat. In my opinion, I guess I just, like, my soft pick for the beginning of the year was the Milwaukee Bucks. I think the Bucks team is still scary, and Giannis looks even scarier, and might be going for his third MVP. But yeah, I could definitely see the Warriors still winning the West easily. Or I guess I shouldn't say easily, but they could definitely do it. Warriors also develop young guys like no one else. Yeah, I mean, it's incredible what they do, right? And I think it's honestly, I think what's even more impressive to me is, like, they'll bring in guys that, like, are free agents that are on minimum contracts, and they'll develop them. Like, that's more impressive than, drafting a guy and, drafting him either whatever round, like, whether it's first or second round, whatever pick it was. Like, you have, 4 years most likely to develop that person, right? The Warriors, they took Gary Payton II and developed him in 2 years, right? That's what the Warriors do. They can do that sort of stuff, and it could be even with any, like, we saw with Otto Porter Jr. with the Warriors last season, right? That a guy, I mean, he's kind of injury prone, but, like, you saw him just fit right into that offense immediately and be an effective player. Like, that's what the Warriors do that is, in my opinion, more impressive than developing the young guys. It's taking guys that are getting minimum contracts or getting, that aren't exactly, that recruited anymore, and developing them into very solid role players that are helping a winning team. That's the part, to me, that's really impressive about that Warriors team. And a lot of it's due to because the system's in place. They have a culture. They have Steve Kerr at the helm, and these guys have been with that team for so long that it's so easy to take a guy, a free agent, and just slide him right into the team, and they fit perfectly. So yeah, the Warriors, man, I know a lot of people are talking about, the tax and everything, which, by the way, the Warriors, I mean, their tax bill just continues to skyrocket. I think the NBA shouldn't put a hard cap because the Warriors are doing it right. I know other owners are upset looking at Jerry Reinsdorf because, people are like, hey, how dare the Warriors pay so much money and make me look like a horrible owner, right? But that's what you got to do to be a winning team for the next 3 decades. The guy who should have the biggest ego sets everyone in the right mindset. I mean, yeah, Steph Curry has been one of the most unselfish players, I feel like. I know that obviously two-time MVP has amazing moments, right? But he's also the best shooter of all time, and he's setting the tone for that Warriors team that they're gonna play together. They're gonna They're gonna pass the ball. They're gonna get everyone involved and play the right way, and also play both ends of the court. That's where it all starts. All right, I'm gonna finish up this little clip here of this Bulls, 3-point shots. They're giving up 3-point shots, and then I'm gonna call it. Fun stream tonight, guys. I appreciate you guys coming out. Had a lot of fun. If you're new, hit the subscribe button for more Bulls content. I'm probably gonna have a video either uploaded tomorrow or the next day, also. So, let's see here for this Bulls team. Did my stream F? Uh-oh. Can you give me a thumbs up if you guys can hear me still? I'm a little worried that my stream just collapsed. Uh-oh. Or sorry, a thumbs up in the chat. You're good? Okay, thank you. Alright, sorry. I thought it said all of a sudden that my stream had no data. I was like, I've never seen that before. But alright, so, yeah, let's just close this one out. Alright, here we go. I believe there's 2 more threes that we gotta look at here. So, we're gonna watch this here. Kevin Durant, again, is being double teamed, alright? Patrick Williams comes off and comes over to double immediately when Kevin Durant tries to post up Ayo Dosunmu. You're seeing Zach here. He's doing the right thing. He's coming over to guard Patrick Williams' man. But if you're DeMar DeRozan, you got to come over here. You got to come off Royce O'Neal, or I don't even know what you're looking at here, but you got to come up and take Kyrie Irving. But he doesn't do that. He's late, right? And then Ayo needs to run quicker over here. In my opinion, actually, I think this is I honestly think it probably should be Patrick Williams that should have probably came over, but that's just my opinion. Like, because if Patrick's the one that came over from here, then he should be the one running out here, but whoever. Just still, though, DeMar's late there, Ayo's late here, or whoever should have came over, they're late. Then at least still wide open 3-point shot. Again, it's off the rotation. It's not we're leaving 3-point shooters or not finding them. It's we're just not rotating right. Looks like it's another post-up possession here, okay? So, what's going to happen? This is where I think a lot of issues start coming up for the Bulls, right? So, Royce O'Neal was here and dumped off the pass to Kevin Durant. DeMar DeRozan was guarding Royce O'Neal. Well, now Royce O'Neal's about to cut through here, so that takes DeMar DeRozan with him. So, it's important for this Bulls team. If you're Zach, this is on Zach. You got to come up here. You got to be with Joe Harris, right? So he's a little late getting over, and because Zach's late, he has to close out hard. Joe Harris gets a driving lane into the paint, which is never good. If you're Zach, next time close out this on the other. If you're Zach, close out this way, because then it forces Joe Harris to go this way instead of in the middle of the floor. Oh, sorry, I gotta clear that. And starts the rotation here. You're gonna throw it back out to DeMar DeRozan, or sorry, Royce O'Neal over here. So let's just watch this again. Like, I don't understand what happened here. Like, the Bulls, they collapsed correctly. You saw them come over and help off the Joe Harris drive. But if you're DeMar DeRozan, Vooch is back on Claxton, right? Why are you here? They're like, you need to be here. You need to move up here. Like, I don't understand what DeRozan's doing here. Obviously, the big issue is Zach not sticking with Joe Harris where he should have been. So it starts there, right? That's where it always starts. It always starts at the top of the key for this Bulls team where the defense kind of starts to be poor. If you're DeRozan, I have no clue what you're doing right now. No clue. This is the part that just doesn't make any sense to me. So DeRozan's going to get screened, and you see here, it's a wide open 3-point shot for Royce O'Neal. Like, why? There's no reason for Royce O'Neal to be this wide open off a Joe Harris drive, right? So, I don't know what DeMar is doing, but it's this sort of stuff by DeRozan where I get really upset. Because that's a simple mistake. Like, that's simple stuff. That's just not paying attention to your man. And I think it's a problem that he's just not paying attention to his man at all. So, in that case, yes, that's not finding a 3-point shooter, but still, though, it's Zach not closing out correctly or sticking with Joe Harris correctly and then letting him get a driving lane in the first place. So I'm going to wrap it up for the stream tonight. Thank you guys again for coming out and interacting with me. Had a lot of fun. Hope you guys had some fun as well. Bulls beat the Brooklyn Nets 108-99. In my opinion, it is a must-win game against the Brooklyn Nets team that is clearly not in the best place right now as they deal with all their drama. And Steve Nash, just got fired before this game. So definitely a team that you should take advantage of with all the stuff that's going on with them. But the Bulls took care of their business thanks to Zach LaVine having a phenomenal fourth quarter, scoring 20 points in the fourth quarter, and basically taking this Bulls team to victory as the Bulls went on to score 31 points to Brooklyn's 19 in the fourth quarter, and that was the game for this Bulls team. The Chicago Bulls, they take on the Charlotte Hornets next, and I'm going to guess that Zach is probably not playing in this one, even though Zach looked good tonight, but we know that Zach is not playing in both back-to-back games. He's always going to sit out one of them for at least now. So Bulls play the Charlotte Hornets next. The Charlotte Hornets team is not that good, but it's important that they come out and get off to a good start and make sure that they don't destroy you from three-point range. This Charlotte Hornets team currently is 14th in three-pointers per game. So gotta do a good job of making sure that defense is rotating correctly, and they shoot well from three-point range. So make sure that they don't get any of those open threes and rotate properly with this Bulls team as well. Joe, Jam, Dale and Terry not playing, or what? They need the length, fire, and selfless playmaking. And anyway, I'm late. No worries about being late. So, yeah. Someone else brought this up earlier, Joe. But in my opinion, I'm okay with Dalen not playing right now. I guess if there was a game, it would have been this game for Dalen to play in because Kobe White's out, no Andre Drummond as well. I guess it would have been this game, but I'm okay with Dalen not playing in this one. And I'm honestly okay with Dalen not playing really that many minutes at all this season. I know he's going to work, but I understand that you think that this Bulls team needs his length and fire, but I don't think he fixes all the issues with this Bulls team, and I don't think a Bulls team that is really trying to win should be relying on a rookie to be that spark, right? Because if they are, then there's a serious issue with this Bulls team, right? So I just think that we can't be relying on Dalen at all this season. I did make a prediction that he will get in the rotation at some point this year. I stand by it that there's probably gonna be a moment where Dalen's convincing, has a spot in the rotation. It's probably be for short minutes, but I still think he's gonna be in the rotation. But for now, at least, as his Bulls team is still only 8 games in, I don't really see Dalen. I don't think Dalen should be playing, honestly, especially if at least most of the guys are healthy. But I guess tonight could have been an opportunity, maybe against Charlotte, if Kobe is not playing against Charlotte. And obviously Zach's gonna be out. He might get to play, but yeah. In my opinion, I don't think. Sorry, I hit my mic. In my opinion, I don't think he should be playing right now. Okay, I'm super high on him. Let's get some sleep, no doubt. Hey, I'm high on Dalen Terry as well. I have no issues with you being high on him. I think Dalen Terry is gonna be a phenomenal player for this Bulls team for a long time. But right now, he's just not playing, and I don't think that's going to cause any issues, honestly, with his development, in my opinion. I wanted him on Durant. He wouldn't have stopped Durant, that's all I'll say. Durant was cooking everybody tonight, and I thought the Bulls actually played good defense against Kevin Durant tonight, but Kevin Durant is Kevin Durant, and there's no stopping him. So, yeah, it doesn't matter, honestly. Nice stream, appreciate it, Mikey. Hope to see you in the next one as well. Yeah, that's going to do it for me, guys. Again, if you could, hit that like button if you have not already. I would really, really appreciate it. If you're new to the channel and you like Bulls content, consider subscribing. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year. I don't know how realistic that is, but that is definitely one of my goals. I would be shocked if I actually get there, but it would also be awesome to get there as well. But would really, really appreciate it. If you have not already, here's my... Oh, no, that's not what I wanted. If you have not already, here is my Twitter account. If you're not following me... I apologize. That's a copy-paste from a school assignment. But here is my Twitter account. Go follow me here on Twitter. I always live tweet every single game. All my thoughts. So if I don't ever... if I don't live stream, you can always catch my thoughts here on my Twitter account about the game. And if you also are new here, I have a blog where I do a lot of writing about Chicago sports. But as you can see, I also wrote about the Golden State Warriors and their projected payroll. So if you want to check out more of my written content, then here's my blog. You can go check that out here. Link is now in the chat as well. One of the best Bulls channels. Let's go. One of the best Bulls channels. Let's do it. Appreciate it, Joe. I really, really appreciate it a lot. I appreciate all you guys supporting me as well. But that's going to do it for me, guys. Bulls play tomorrow against the Charlotte Hornets. Hopefully they get a win against Charlotte, as then the Bulls will be over 500 and looking pretty all right to start the season. Definitely not the best start to the season, but a good amount of positives where I could be like, all right, we're doing good if they get this win. So let's see if they pull it out. But that's going to do it for me, guys. Thank you so much for joining the stream. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.
Yeah, they tell you that you should quit trying. You were too small, that you were too young. They tell you the chance is too slim, the world is too big, but you say how come? I'm ready to light a new fire, raise a new flag, to cross a new sea. And if I'm ever the one in your way, then put your head down and run right through me. I keep settling for so much less. Don't take what's given, just demand what's next. We're looking for an open door, so we didn't see before, so we can get out of here. Plot twist, so we didn't see coming. We're looking for an open door, so we didn't see before, how will we get out of here? with the drum banging you breathless. Enemies freeze, left bent and defenseless. Straight for the chest of anybody against us. The more they resist it, the more that they tempt us.
I keep settling for so much less. Don't take what's given, just demand what's next. We're looking for an open door, so we didn't see before. So we get out of here, plot twist that we didn't see coming. We're looking for an open door, so we didn't see before. And when we get out of here, we'll take off and never stop running. So I keep settling for so much less. Don't take what's given, just demand what's next. We're looking for an open door, something we didn't see before. So when we get out of here, plot twist that we didn't see coming. We're looking for an open door, something we didn't see before. And when we get out of here, we'll take off and never stop running. No, no, we'll never stop running. No, no, we'll never stop running. When we get that open door, no,